Okay, in this video I'm showing you all how to put on a new rear finish panel for a Mazda Miata. These panels are very brittle plastic, so it's very common for these cars for them to crack or even shatter like this one. So this one was pretty bad when I was taking it off. It got even worse when I was removing it. So I want to show you all how to put on your new one safely so you don't introduce any new cracks into the panel as you're installing it. So hopefully by now, if you're watching this video, you've removed everything. It's very simple. There's 4 10mm nuts on each taillight, and you just pull out the whole taillight harness there. And as far as taking off the panel goes, it's pretty straightforward. You lift up and out. Not really going to go through that because mine's obviously already off, and if you're removing a panel, it's probably because it cracked and broke. So if you crack it in the process, it really doesn't matter. Obviously, I cracked mine in the process. So over here, my new panel. And you want to be careful with these because there are a lot of little plastic tabs, and they fall out very easily. And these tabs are pretty specific. They have their own Mazda part numbers and everything, of course. They're pretty specific to these panels. And also, what you don't want to lose are these little obscure bolt things. They're made to slide into the notches on the panel, and they're not fun if you lose them. So some important things to think about when you're getting ready to put your panel on. Make sure these tabs are both going the same way. See, the long side of the tab is here, long side of the tab is here, that's good. Long side of the tab's here, good. But the long side of the tab is not there, so you want to, see, I want to flip that around. Because really, there's nothing worse than putting the panel on just to see you've got one piece not sitting properly, and then trying to remove it, because as we've learned with these panels, if you try to remove them, they're probably going to break. So just make sure everything's in there well. That one took a little bit of work getting in, just had to pop it in a little more. And make sure you got all your tabs. And so for putting it on, I don't find this necessary. You can remove this if you want, but there's this plastic little tab sort of button thing here. So when you put on the panel, you want to have everything lined up, but that tab is actually going to be, you're going to want to slide it onto it. And again, that kind of sketches me out because these panels are so weak. So actually, what I would recommend people to do is just avoid this little plastic tab altogether. So what I'm actually going to do is remove this thing, because you've got all these mounting points. You really don't need this too. And if you try to put it over it, it can create a bow in the panel, thus making a weak point. So what I'm actually going to do is just cut it off, flatten it. But now, since I was able to remove that, you can just pop it right in. So I'm also just realizing that these bottom plastic clips are not needed either. So really all this is using is the 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, these little black plastic clips. And for my 91, and this panel's for a different year, but it pretty much still fits. You just want to take out the clip for here, 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 and here. So one less. Weight savings, there we go. And again, I'm showing this process because it is a slow process, and you need to take it slow. So the bottom areas are nicely lined up. You start snapping into place. Snapped into place. But just be careful and make sure you have these little top bolts lined up. These are important for, proper mounting. This one's in. This one's in. So it's just loose because we need to tighten the bolts. So now it's just a matter of taking the nuts and attaching them to this mounting point. Not right here, because it's where the plastic clip is. This mounting point up here. So you will be working behind this carpeted area. And then same on the other side, this point and this point. The lights are able to just pop back into place, put the 4 10mm nuts back on, and then take the little harness for the lights, Squeeze both tabs on the top and the bottom of the white harness and pop it right back onto the light. Hey, you stayed this long. I'm glad you're still here. I forgot one more thing. These nuts, when attaching them to the bolts of the rear panel, because it's plastic, it seems pretty obvious, but I want to bring it up anyway. Just by hand, tighten it on. This way, if you're using your ratchet or your wrench, that angle could over tighten things. I mean, you got the plastic clips here. It's got all these mounting points. You've got your license plate on here anyway, so it's not going to fall off. It might get a little loose every once in a while, but again, it's better than having the panel crack due to over tightening.